Sarah, you're on the Michael Berry Show. How are you?
Hello, I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good. How old are you, Sarah?
I'm 23.
23?
Mm-hmm.
Come again.
23 years old.
I swear you sound 7.
I get that. I get people call my phone and ask where my mommy is. I'm
That's
like,
awesome.
probably at her house if you probably at her house if you call her.
Oh, that's awesome. What's up, dear?
So I work at a small bar, and I
What's
get
the name
the
of it?
Shady Tavern on West 20th.
Oh, yeah, I've been there.
And so Sunday, this guy comes up and he shakes my hand. He's like, "Hi, I'm so-and-so from Occupy Houston."
Do you remember his name?
No, I don't.
Because most of them have stage names, like they're rappers or something. Hey, I'm Boom.
Oh, no, it was Dan of some sort. I mean, something very generic. So it took every muscle I had not to giggle already.
Okay.
And he's got all these papers in his hand, and he said, "Hey, I'm with Occupy Houston, and we made this little newspaper. Can we leave them here at the bar?" And my bar is an open area. Those papers would just end up all over the ground, and somebody has to pick those up. And so I was like, "No, my boss doesn't like when we leave stuff up here."
Who's your boss?
Dennis.
Oh, okay. He owns the Shady Tavern?
Yeah, he does.
Okay. Y'all do pretty well there?
Yeah, we do pretty good.
What's the number one selling beer?
Lone Star.
Really? You have a Lone Star on draft?
No, all I got is bottles.
What do you have on draft?
Nothing.
What?
Yeah, we don't do drafts. All
Afraid-
we do is bottles. It's
Afraid-
an old school ice house. Like
Yeah,
it was built during Prohibition.
Afraid we're going to have to end this conversation a little sooner than this.
Oh no!
Why can't we have draft beer? You don't think draft beer is distinctly American?
I'm trying to talk St. Arnold's into giving me a draft box, but we'll see what happens.
Have you asked them?
Yeah.
And
I
what
got to
they say?
talk to their salespeople.
Oh,
I got to go out to one of the things. I mean, their salespeople, they've only got 2. It's a small thing, so
Yeah.
they've only got 2 people. They're hard to get a hold of. So I need to go to one of their bar crawls so I can sit down and be like, "Hey."
You need to go to the Newery. You know what? I'll cut this audio, Sarah. I'll get your number when we're through. I'll cut this audio and send it to Brock Wagner, their owner, and he'll go, "Okay, we'll put it on a tab."
Fantastic. That would
There
be
you go.
perfect.
All right, but you got to have only St. Arnold's, and right now you got to put the Christmas ale on tap.
That's the deal I told him. I said for a straight year, I'll give you a year's worth of only St. Arnold's on draft.
Let me tell you something. I was playing golf with some buddies of mine on Saturday, Steve Kirker and Mark Clark, and they had screwdrivers when we started. And we started playing golf at 6:45, and they're drinking screwdrivers. I'm like, "No, screwdrivers and Bloody Marys." I said, "Oh, no, I can't do that." But when we turned the corner at 9, we came past the clubhouse, and I said, "All right, now it's by this time it was, I don't know, 9:30, 10 o'clock. I said, "Now we can have a beer." So I went in. They had never had St. Arnold's Christmas ale, which, as you know, is a seasonal. You can't get it all
Oh,
year.
yeah.
And they said, "Oh, no, we don't want a beer. We don't want a beer." I said, "You got to try this."
You have to.
About the 13th hole, they were ready to call it a day and go back and drink beer. It was that good.
Oh yeah, those are the best. I mean, outside of the Divine Reserve, which I am just dying for this year, but yeah, outside of Divine
I'm
Reserve,
trying to
I love
get
Christmas
the
ale.
owner there is a very good friend of mine, and I have begged him for years. They give away naming rights to one of their beers every year. They do it on eBay, and it goes
Really?
about, yeah. And so I don't want to spend the thousands of dollars, but I thought, look, I'll promote the darn thing because my wife is from India, and there's an Indian Pale Ale, so I thought it would be awesome to have Nandita's India Pale Ale.
I would love that. I mean, right now it's named their IPA is named Alyssa. Like, Alyssa's not an Indian name.
No, it's not. Nandita's, I mean, you can't get more Indian than that.
You really can't.
I mean, they could make it Venkateshwaran's her last name, but that's got 13 letters. That probably wouldn't work. So,
Yeah.
anyway, what happened with this clown?
So he assuming by my age, I'm sure he thought that I backed the Occupy, and I wish it would have been a Monday through a Friday because you play. I put you on iHeartRadio and I play it for everybody to hear.
Oh, it's
like
awesome.
it's just me working, so I'm just like, if you don't like it, you can move on down the road. But so he's like, "Well, here, take one for yourself." And I read it, and oh man, I was rolling. This is, I mean, I'll just give you a couple things. Like, okay, this is one of my favorite lines from the whole thing. So they interviewed a couple of people that are a part of it, and they give them all these credentials. They have degrees, and they do this and that. I was like, that's all well and good. Well, one of them, she said, "So why are you a part of the Occupy Houston movement?" And the girl answering goes, "The same reason everybody else is." I was like, what is that reason? Did you have no idea?
She doesn't know the reason.
Yeah, they have no consensus, no generality. And I was
Consensus.
like, oh my
Consensus
gosh.
suggests there are disparate ideas. They just want, you know what they are? They are, hold on just a second. They are people without lives. You're listening to the Michael Berry Show. Sarah, they are people without lives who want a cause to go to. And the fact is, Omar over at, that owns Fitzgerald's, that owns the
Yeah.
Summerfest, or what is that festival he puts on with the Flaming Lips and all those different groups?
Best Fest.
The what?
Best Fest.
Yeah, Best Fest, because Best Fest is over. These people have nowhere else to go. These dirty, filthy, white. There's nothing worse than white people with dreadlocks. White,
I know,
dreadlock
right?
wearing, tatted up, filthy, stinky, no bathing, no washing their clothes, open-toed shoes crowd. They got nothing else better to do, and they think that they're caught up in the moment, that they're caught up in some historical time. They're going to be in the Smithsonian out of this deal.
Oh, it's ridiculous. I mean, really, I understand, kind of like, when you don't have a job or you're looking for a job or whatever, kind of feeling lost.
Yeah. Well, let's
But
talk
that's
about
for
the
a
best
moment.
pickup line. Are you cute?
I am. I'm adorable.
Are you? What's the best pickup line from a guy that walked into the bar?
I can make your dreams come true at least once a week.
Are you
I'm
serious?
like, this is the American dream, baby.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, it's
Guys
it's
really
good.
say that?
Oh yeah, man, you have no idea. And I mean, and I'm not saying that I don't, I dress for the part. I make sure I make my money based on my clothes.
How much do you make?
Average night, 200.
How long is that? What's the shift?
On Tuesdays it's 3 to about midnight, and then on Saturdays it's from noon to 6, and then the other girl comes in.
That's 200 in tips,
Yeah.
and then you make something, right?
Yeah, I get that's 180, 160 in tips, and then $40 shift pay.
Oh, wow. So you get
So
a
I get-
shift fee. It's not per hour. It's for the shift.
Yeah, like I walk in the door and I'm at least guaranteed that minimum.
So what is a if you're all bottled beers, what does a Bud Light sell for?
$3.
And people will give you a $5 and say keep the change?
Exactly. And we're not this big crazy, like, it's not. The sales don't get crazy, but I got my regulars. They take care of me. It's a Tuesday. Everybody comes by 5 o'clock. Might as well, kind of thing. Bring
And-
your dogs. People with dogs. That's my bread and butter right there.
Oh, yeah. Dog owners are
Because
the
we
best.
got a half acre that you can run your dogs on.
Oh, that's why I heard of y'all. Yeah. I think my buddy Stephen Foulard goes over there. Do you know Foulard?
I don't know. I know Stevens. I know a couple of Stevens.
You know what?
but-
If Foulard comes over, you will actually hit on him.
Ooh,
I'm
fancy
telling you.
pants.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying he's the most handsome guy in the world, but he has a brain that you will just absolutely fall in love with.
Oh,
He's
I adore that. That's my favorite customer is the one that comes in and has an intelligent conversation with me.
oh, you
I'm
ask
just like-
Foulard questions about archaeological finds from any particular century. You ask him about language. You ask him about culture. You ask him about sports. You ask him about cuisine. Foulard, he's a trained chef. Oh, you may end up marrying Foulard and having 8 of his children.
Oh, I would adore that.